Hey y'all, let's talk about something that's been sitting with me for a while now. Unsolicited advice. You ever have someone try to give you feedback on your life, your path, your business, and you're just sitting here thinking like, you don't even know what I'm building. You didn't even ask. You just started giving out unsolicited advice. When people think they know your vision, it's always wild to me when someone just sees a glimpse of what I'm doing, whether it's a post, a title, a buzzword like coach, and suddenly they think they've got the blueprint. Like, you haven't asked about my vision, you don't know where I'm taking this, you don't know who I want to serve, you haven't even had a real conversation with me. If you actually cared about helping, wouldn't the first step be asking what I'm creating instead of assuming you know better? And advice does not equal projection, okay? Two different lanes. A lot of times, people aren't giving advice, they're projecting. They're telling you what they would do if they were on your path. But newsflash, they're not on your path. You're not on their path. You're building something they've never seen before. And honestly, you're still figuring out a lot of it for yourself, and that's okay. I know I am. You have to be a little flexible, a little bit adaptable when you're building something new because you don't know what to expect. So let me just give you an example. I read That Will Never Work by Mark Randolph, the co-founder of Netflix. And the original concept was mailing DVDs. I remember that's how I used it. I was watching Grey's Anatomy with my mom. We would always get order those movies in, and then we'd get them on like a Friday or something, and then we end up watching them that whole weekend. But now, Netflix is a whole empire, a trendsetter. Every major company is out here trying to launch their own streaming platform because Netflix paved the way. But let's not forget, Blockbuster had their shot and still fumbled the bag. And in the book, there's a really funny story about how the founder of Netflix tried to have a meeting with the Blockbuster team, and they were dodging him. And the time that they finally were able to meet with them, they were late, they were disrespectful, they basically laughed in his face. And now we see how that turned out for them. But maybe in the future I'll do a review of that book so you can get the details if you don't want to read it yourself. But anyway, it happens, Now imagine if the Netflix team had listened to early advice from people who couldn't see beyond going to the store to get a movie rental. Imagine. There's no way those people could have seen where it was headed. Heck, even Mark Randolph didn't even know it was going to be a streaming platform when he first started. But that's the beauty of ideas. You never know where it takes you. But if somebody is there trying to stomp it out of you before it even starts to form into something, I mean, come on now, people, especially with somebody that's supposed to be caring about you and wanting the best for you. This topic, literally, I can talk about this topic in so many different ways, and I just might do it, okay? There's layers upon layers on this. But, you build things step by step, and you have to embrace the unknown, and that can be scary. So it's like when you're creating something new, it's not always going to be clear, and you have to be willing to adapt and pivot and follow the idea as it evolves. And people who don't understand that, they'll try to put you in the box, but we're not here to be boxed in. And you weren't created to live in someone else's box. You weren't designed to follow a blueprint that doesn't reflect your calling. And you definitely weren't meant to let someone else's discomfort shrink your vision. You're not here to be small, predictable, or explainable. You're here to be free, like a lion in the jungle. Don't let anyone cage that. If you felt this, drop a comment below, hit like, and share it with someone who needs that reminder. And if you're building something bold, stay true to it. You are not alone. Thanks for tuning in. For more reflections on personal growth, intentional living, and life beyond the ordinary, make sure to hit subscribe. And you can also follow along on the blog at britneymctier.substack.com and join the Growth Inspired Tribe. So it's a space where we share grounded tools, deep insights, and soulful, good for the soul strategies to grow from where we are to where we're meant to be.